Welcome, I'm Noob Solo, and this is part 2 of 50 Shades of Grey. My heart is pounding. The elevator arrives on the first floor, and I scramble out as soon as the door slides open, stumbling once, but fortunately not sprawling into the immaculate stone floor. I race for the wide glass doors, and suddenly I'm free in the bracing cleansing of the damp air of Seattle. Raising my face, I welcome the cool, refreshing rain. I close my eyes and take a deep, purifying breath, trying to recover what's left of my equilibrium. No man has ever affected me the way that Christian Grey has, and I can't fathom why. Is it his looks, his civility, wealth, power? I don't understand my irrational reaction. I breathe an enormous sigh of relief. What in heaven? What in heaven's name was that all about? Leaning against one of the steel pillars of the building, I valiantly attempt to calm down and gather my thoughts. I shake my head. What was that? My heart steadies to its regular rhythm, and when I can breathe normally again, I head for the car. As I leave the city limits behind, I began to feel foolish and embarrassed as I replay the interview in my mind. Surely I'm overreacting to something that's imaginary. Okay, he is very attractive, confident, and commanding at ease with himself. But on the flip side, he's arrogant. And for all these impeccable and for his impeccable manners, he's autocratic and cold. While on the surface, an involuntary shiver runs down my spine. He may be arrogant, but then he has a right to be. He's accomplished so much at his young age. He doesn't suffer fools gladly, but why should he? Again, I'm irritated that Kate didn't give me a brief biography. While cruising towards Interstate 5, my mind continues to wander. I'm truly perplexed as to say what makes someone so driven to success. Some of his answers were so cryptic as if he had a hidden agenda. It's Kate's questions. Ugh. The adoption and asking him if he was gay, I shuddered. I can't believe that I said that. The ground could swallow me up right now. Every time I think of that question in the future, I will cringe with embarrassment. Damn, Catherine. I checked the speedometer. I'm driving more cautiously than I ever would on any other occasion. And I know it's the memory of those penetrating gray eyes gazing at me, and the stern voice telling me to drive carefully. Shaking my head, I realized that Gray's more like a man twice his age. Forget it, Anna, I scolded myself, deciding that all in all, it's been a very interesting experience. But I shouldn't dwell on it, putting it behind me. I've never have to see him again. I immediately cheered by that thought. I switched on the stereo, turned the volume down, sit back and listen to the thumping indie rock music as I pressed down on the accelerator. As I hit Interstate 5, I realized I can drive as fast as I want. We live in a small community of duplexes close to Vancouver campus of WSU. I'm lucky Kate's parents bought the place for her. and I pay peanuts for rent. It's been home for 4 years now. As I pull outside, I know Kate is going to want a blow by blow account. She is very tenacious. Well, at least she has the digital recorder. I hope I won't have to elaborate much behind or beyond what was said at the interview. Anna, you're back. Kate sits up in the living area, surrounded by books. She clearly has been studying for her finals. She's still in her pink flannel pajamas, decorated with cute little rabbits, the ones she reserves for the aftermath of breaking up with her boyfriends. For assorted illnesses and general moody depression. She bounds up to me and hugs me hard. I was beginning to worry. I expected you to be back way sooner. Oh, I thought I made good time considering the interview ran over. I waved the digital recorder at her. Anna, thank you so much for doing this. I owe you. I know how it was. Oh, I know. How was it? What was he like? Oh no, here we go. Catherine Inquisition. There we go. I struggled to answer her question. What can I say? I'm glad it's over, and I don't ever have to see him again. He was rather intimidating, I shrug. He's very focused, intense, even and young, really young. Kate gazes innocently at me. I frown. Don't you look so innocent? Why didn't you give me a biography? He made me feel like such an idiot for skimping on basic research. Kate clamps a hand in her mouth. Geez, Anna, I'm sorry I didn't think. I huff. Mostly, he was courteous, formal, slightly stuffy, like he's old before his time. He doesn't talk like a man of 20-something. How old is he anyway? 27. Geez, Anna, I'm sorry. I should have briefed you, but I was in such a panic. Let me have the recorder and I'll start transcribing the interview. You look better. Did you eat the soup? I asked, keen to change the subject. Yes, it was delicious as usual. I'm feeling much better. She smiles at me in gratitude. I'll check my watch. I have to run. I can make it to my shift at Clayton's. Anna, you must be exhausted. I'll be fine. I'll see you later. I worked at Clayton's since I started WSU. It's the largest independent hardware store in the Portland area. And over the 4 years I've worked here, I've come to know a little bit about most everything we sell. Although, ironically, I'm crap at any DIY. I leave it all to my dad. I'm glad I can make my shift, and it'll give me something to focus on other than Christian Grey. We're busy. It's the start of the summer season, and the folks are redecorating their homes. Miss Clayton looks relieved to see me. And I thought you weren't going to make it today. My appointment didn't take as long as I thought. I can do a couple of hours. I'm really pleased to see you. She sends me to the storeroom to restock shelves, and I'm soon absorbed in this task. When I arrive home later, Catherine is wearing headphones and working on her laptop. Her nose is still pink, but she has her teeth in a story, so she's concentrating and typing furiously. I thoroughly was drained, exhausted by the long drive, by the grueling interview, am being swamped at Clayton's. I slump on the couch thinking about the essay I have to finish and all the studying I haven't been able to do today because I was holed up with him. You got some good stuff here, Anna. Well done. I can't believe you didn't take him up on his offer to show you around. He obviously wanted to spend more time with you. She gives me the fleeting quizzical look. I flush, and my heart rate impeccably increases. That was a reason, surely. He just wanted to show me around so I could see that he was the Lord of all that he surveyed. I realized that biting my lip, and I hoped Kate didn't notice. But she seemed absorbed in her transcription. I hear what you mean about formal. Did you take any notes? She asked. No, I didn't. That's fine. I can make a fine article with this. Shame we don't have some original stills, though. Good looking son of a bitch, isn't he? I suppose so. I tried hard to sound disinterested, and I think I succeeded. Oh, come on, Anna. Even though even you can't be immune to his looks. She arches a perfect eyebrow at me. Crap, feel my cheeks heating up, so I distracted her with flattery, and that's always a good ploy. You probably have got a lot. You could have probably got a lot more out of him. I doubt that, Anna. Come on, he's practically offering you a job, given that I foisted this on you on last minute. You did very well. She glances up at me speculatively. I make a hasty retreat to the kitchen. So, what did you really think of him? Damn, she's inquisitive. Why can't she just let this go? Something, or think of something quick. He's very driven, controlling, arrogant, scary, but very charismatic. I can understand the fascination. I had truthfully, hoping that this will shut her up for once and for all. You're fascinated by this man. That's a first, she snorts. I start gathering the makings of a sandwich so she can't see my face. Why did you want to know if he was gay? Incidentally, that was the most embarrassing question. I was mortified, and he was pissed to be asked too. I scowl at the memory. Whenever he's in the society pages, he never has a date. It was embarrassing. The whole thing was embarrassing. I'm glad I never have to lay eyes on him again. Oh, Anna, it can't have been that bad. I think he was quite taken with you. Taken with me? Now Kate's being ridiculous. Would you like a sandwich? Please. We talk no more of Christian Grey that evening. Much to my relief, once we've eaten, I'll be able to sit down at the dinner table with Kate, and while she works on her article. I work on my essay. Tests of the D. Ubervilles. Damn, that woman was in the wrong place at the wrong time in the wrong century. By the time I was finished, it's midnight, and Kate has long since gone to bed. I make my way to my room exhausted, but pleased that I've accomplished so much for a Monday. I curled up in my white iron bed, wrapped in my mother's quilt, close my eyes, and I'm instantly asleep. That night, I dream of dark places, bleak, cold white floors, and gray eyes. For the rest of the week, I throw myself into my studies and my job at Clayton's. Kate is busy too, compiling her last edition of the student newspaper before she has to relinquish it to the new editor. Well, also cramming for her finals. By Wednesday, she's much better now, and had no longer had to endure the sight of her pink flannel with too many rabbits, PJs. I called my mom in Georgia to check on her, but also she can wish me luck on my final exams. She proceeds to tell me about the last venture into candle making. My mother is all about new business ventures. Fundamentally, she's bored and wants something to occupy her time, but she has the attention span of a goldfish. It'll be something new next week. She worries me. I hope she hasn't managed or mortgaged the house to finance this latest scheme. And I hope Bob, her relatively new but much older husband, is keeping an eye on her now that I'm no longer there. He doesn't seem a lot more grounded than husband number 3. How are things with you, Anna? For a moment, I hesitate, and I have Mom's full attention. I'm fine. Anna, have you met someone? Wow. How did she do that? The excitement in her voice is palpable. No, Mom, it's nothing. You'd be the first to know if I do. Anna, you really need to get out more, honey. You worry me. Mom, I'm fine. How's Bob? As ever, distraction is the best policy. Later that evening, I called Roy, my stepdad, Mom's husband number 2, the man I considered my father, and the man whose name I bear. It's a brief conversation, in fact. It's not so much a conversation as a one-sided series of grunts in response to my gentle coaxing. Ray is not really a talker, but he's still alive, and he's still watching soccer on TV. Ray's a skilled carpenter, and the reason I know the difference between a hawk and a handsaw all seems well with him. Friday night, Kate and I are debating over what to do with our evening. We want some time off from our studies and from work on the newspapers. When the doorbell rings, standing on our doorstep is my good friend Jose, clutching a bottle of champagne. Jose, it's great to see you. I give him a quick hug. Come in. Jose is the first person I met when arriving at WSU, looking as lost and lonely as we did. We recognized a kind spirit in each other that day, and we've been friends ever since. Not only do we share a sense of humor, but we also discovered that Ray and Jose Sr. were in the same Army unit together. As a result, our father has also been good friends, too. Jose is studying engineering and is the first in his family to make it to college. He's pretty damn bright. And he has a real passion in his photography. Jose has a great eye for a good picture. I have news, he grins, his dark eyes twinkling. Don't tell me you managed not to get kicked out for another week, I teased. He was scornful and playful at me. The Portland Place Gallery is going to exhibit my photos next month. That's amazing. Congratulations. I was delighted for him. I hugged him again. Kate beams at him, too. Way to go, Jose. I should put that in the paper. Nothing like last-minute editorial changes on a Friday evening. She feigns annoyance. Let's celebrate. I want you to come to the opening. Jose looks intently at me as I flush. Both of you, of course, he glanced nervously at Kate. Jose and I are good friends, but I know deep down inside he likes to be more. He's cute and funny, and he's just not for me. He's more like a brother I never had. Catherine also teases me that I'm missing the need of a boyfriend gene. But the truth is, I haven't met anyone who, well, I'm attracted to even. Though the part for me the feeble temp, longs for the fabled temp, trembling knees, heart in my mouth, butterflies in my belly moments. Yeah, that's hot. Sometimes I wonder if there's something wrong with me. Perhaps I've spent too long in the company of my literary romantic heroes, and consequently my ideals and expectations are far too high. But in reality, nobody even made me feel like that until very recently. The unwelcomed, still small voice in my subconscious whispers, "No." I banished the thoughts immediately. I am not going there. Not after that painful interview. Are you gay, Mr. Gray? I wince at the memory. I know I've dreamed about him most nights since then, but that's just to purge the awful experience from my system, surely. I watch Jose open the bottle of champagne. He's tall in his jeans and t-shirt. All his shoulders and muscle tan, skin, dark hair, and burning dark eyes. Yes, Jose is pretty hot, but I think he's finally getting the message we're just friends. The cork makes a loud pop, pop, and Jose looks up and smiles. Saturday at the store is a nightmare. We are besieged by do-it-yourselfers wanting to spruce up their homes. Mr. and Mrs. Clayton and John and Patrick, the two other part-timers, and I are besieged by customers. But there's a lull around lunchtime, and Mrs. Clayton asked me to check on some orders while I'm sitting behind the counter at the register, discreetly eating my bagel. I'm engrossed in the task, checking catalog numbers against the items we need and the items we ordered. Eyes flickered from the order book to the computer screen, and back as I'm sure, and back as I make sure the entries match. Then, for some reason, I glance up and found myself locked in the bold gray gaze of Christian Grey, who's standing at the counter staring at me. Heart failure? Miss Steele, what a pleasant surprise. His gaze is unwavering and intense. Holy crap! What the hell is he doing here? Looking all outdoorsy with his tousled hair and his cream chunky knitted sweater, jeans, and walking boots. I think my mouth is popped open and I can't locate where my brain or voice are. Mr. Gray, I whispered, because that's all I can manage. There's a ghost of a smile on his lips, and his eyes are lit with humor, as if he's enjoying some private joke. I was in the area, he says. By the way of explanation, I need to stock up on a few things. It's a pleasure to see you again, Miss Steele. His voice is warm and husky, like a dark melted chocolate, fudge caramel or something. Delicious. I shake my head to gather my wits. My heart is pounding at a frantic tempo. And for some reason, I'm blushing furiously under his steady scrutiny. I am utterly thrown by the sight of him standing before me. My memories of him did not do him justice. He's he's not just merely good looking. He's the epitome of male beauty, breathtaking, and here he is, here in Clayton's hardware store. Go figure. Finally, my cognitive functions are restored and reconnected with the rest of my body. Anna, my name's Anna, I muttered. What can I help you with, Mr. Gray? He smiles, and again, it's like he's privy to some big secret, so it is so disconcerting. Taking a deep breath, I put on my professional. I've worked in this shop for years. Facade. I can do this. There are a few items I need. To start with, I'd like some cable ties, he murmured, his expression both cool and amused. Cable ties? We stock various lengths. Shall I show you? I muttered, my very soft voice and wavering. Get a grip, Steele. A slight frown mars Gray's rather lower brow. Please lead the way, Miss Steele, he says. I try for nonchalance as I come out behind the counter, but really I'm concentrating hard on not falling over my own feet. My legs are suddenly the consistency of Jello. I'm so glad I decided to wear my best jeans this morning. They're with the electrical goods. Aisle 8. My voice is a little too bright. I glanced up at him, and I regretted almost immediately. Damn, he's handsome. After you, he murmurs, gesturing with his long finger. Beautifully manicured hand. With my heart almost strangling me because it's in my throat, trying to escape from his mouth. I head down one of the aisles to the electrical section. Why is he in Portland? Why is he here at Clayton's? And from a very tiny, underused part of my brain, probably located at the base of my medulla oblongated near where my subconscious dwells, come the thought, is he here to see you? No way. I dismiss it immediately. Why would this beautiful, powerful, urban man want to see me? The idea is pretentious, and I kicked it out of my head. Are you in Portland on business? I asked, and my voice was way too high. I got my finger trapped in a door or something. Dang. Try to be cool, Anna. I was visiting the WSU Farming Division. It's based in Vancouver. I'm currently funding some research there for crop rotation and soil science. He says matter-of-factly, see? Not here to find you at all. My subconscious sneers at me. Loud, proud, and proudly, I was flushed at my foolishness, wayward thoughts. All part of feeding the world plan, I teased. Something like that, he acknowledged. And his lips quirked up a half a smile. He gazed at the section of cable ties we stock at Clayton's. What on earth is he going to do with those? I can't picture him doing anything like do-yourselfers would at all. His fingers trail across the various packages displayed. And for some impeccable reason, I have to look away. He bends and selects a packet. These will do, he says. with his oh so secret smile. Is there anything? Anything else? I'd like some masking tape. Masking tape? Are you redecorating? Those words are way out before I can stop them. Surely he hires laborers or staff to help him decorate. No, I'm not decorating, he quickly smirks. I have an uncanny feeling that he's laughing at me. Am I that funny? Funny looking? This way, I murmured, embarrassed. Masking tape is in the decorating aisle. I glance behind as he follows. Have you worked here long? His voice is low. He's gazing at me, concentrating hard. I blushed brightly. Why the hell does he have this effect on me? I feel like I'm a 14-year-old girl. As I always feel out of place with him. Eyes front, Steele. 4 years, I murmured as we reached the goal. To try to distract myself, I reached down and select 2 widths of masking tape that we have in stock. I'll take that one. Grace softly pointed to the wider tape, which I passed to him. His fingers brushed very briefly, and the current is there again, zapping through me. I touched an exposed wire and gasped involuntarily as I feel it all the way down, somewhere dark and unexplored, deep in my belly. Desperately, I scrabble around him for my equilibrium. Anything else? My voice is husky and breathy. My eyes widen slightly. Some rope, I think. His voice mirrors mine, husky. This way, I duck my head down to hide the reoccurring blush, and I move toward the aisle. What sort are you after? We have synthetic and natural filament rope, twine, cable cord. I halt at his expression darkening. Holy cow. I'll take 5 yards of natural filament rope, please. Quickly, with trembling fingers, I measured out 5 yards against the fixed ruler, and his hot gray gaze is on me. I dare not look at him. Jeez, could I feel any more self-conscious taking my Stanley knife from my back pocket of my jeans? I cut it and then coiled it neatly before tying it into a slip knot. But by some miracle, I managed not to remove a finger with my knife. Were you a Girl Scout? He asked, sculptured, sensual lips curled in amusement. Don't look at his mouth. Organized group activities aren't really my thing, Mr. Gray. She arches her brow. What is your thing, Anastasia? He asked in his soft voice, and his secret smiles back. I gaze at him, unable to express myself. I'm on shifting tectonic plates. Try to be cool, Anna. My tortured subconscious begs on a bended knee. Books, I whisper. But inside my subconscious is screaming, you are my thing. I slap it down instantly, mortified that my psyche is having ideas that I'm way out of his league. What kind of books? He cocks his head to one side. Why is he so interested? Oh, you know, the usual, the classic British literature mainly. He rubs his chin with his long index finger, and he contemplates my answer. Or perhaps he's just very bored and trying to hide it. Anything else you need? I have to get off this subject. Those fingers on that face are beguiling. I don't know. What else would you recommend? What would I recommend? I don't even know what you're doing. For a do-it-yourselfer, he nods. His eyes are alive with a wicked humor. I flush my gaze straight to his snug jeans, coveralls, I replied. And I know I'm no longer screening what's coming out of my mouth. He raised an eyebrow, amused yet again. You wouldn't want to ruin your clothing, I gestured vaguely in his direction of his jeans. I could always take them off, he smirked. I feel the cold in my cheeks rising again. It must be the cold of the Communist Manifesto. Stop talking now. I'll take some coveralls, heaven forbid I should ruin any of my clothes, he said dryly. I tried to dismiss the unwelcomed image of him without jeans. Do you need anything else? I squeak as I hand him the blue coveralls. He ignores my inquiry. How's the article coming along? He finally asked me the easy question, away from all the innuendos and the confusing double talk, a question I could answer. I grasped it tightly with two hands as if it was a life raft, and I go for it honestly. I'm not writing it. Miss K is. My roommate, she's the writer. She's very happy with it. She's the editor of the newspaper, and she's very devastated that she couldn't do the interview in person. I feel like I've come up for air at last, a normal topic of conversation. Her only concern is that she doesn't have any original photos of you. What sort of photographs does she want? Okay. I hadn't factored in this response, shaking my head, because I just don't know. Well, I'm around tomorrow, perhaps. Would you be willing to do a photo shoot? My voice is squeaky again. Kate would be in seven heaven if we could pull this off. And you might be able to see him again tomorrow. That dark place at the base of my brain whispers seductively at me, and I dismiss the thought of all that silly ridiculousness. Kate would be delighted if we could find a photographer. I'm so pleased. I smiled at him broadly, his lips part, like he's taking a sharp intake of breath, and he blinks. For the fraction of a second, he looks lost somehow, and the Earth shifts slightly on its axis, the tectonic plate sliding into a new position. Oh my. Christian Gray's lost look. Let me know about tomorrow. Reaching in his back pocket, he pulls out his wallet. My card. It has my cell phone number on it. You need to call before 10 in the morning. Okay. I grin up at him. Kate's going to be so thrilled. Anna. Paul has materialized at the other end of the hallway. He's Miss Clayton's youngest brother. I've heard he was home from Princeton, but I wasn't expecting to see him today. Excuse me one moment, Mr. Gray. Gray frowns as I turn away from him. Paul has always been a buddy. And in this strange moment that I'm having with this rich and powerful, awesomely off the charts, attractive, control freak Gray. It's great to talk to someone normal. Paul hugs me hard, taking me by surprise. Anna, hi, it's good to see you, he gushes. Hello, Paul, how are you? You're home for your brother's birthday? Yep, you're looking well, Anna, really well. He grins. He examines me at arm's length. Then he releases me, but keeps a possessive arm draped over my shoulder. I shuffle from foot to foot, embarrassed. It's good to see you, Paul, but he's always been overfamiliar. When I glance up at Christian Grey, he's watching us like hawks, or like a hawk. His eyes hooded and speculative. His mouth is hard and impassive. He changed from the weirdly attentive customer to someone cold and distant. Paul, I'm with a customer. Someone you should meet, I say, trying to fuse the anti-gasm in Gray's expression. I drag Paul over to meet him, and they size each other up. The atmosphere is subtly erratic. Paul, this is Christian Grey. Mr. Grey, this is Paul. Paul Clayton. His brother owns this place. And for some irrational reason, I feel I have to explain a little bit more. I've known Paul ever since I worked here, though we don't see each other that often. He's back from Princeton, where he studying business administration. I'm babbling now. Stop. Mr. Clayton, Gray holds out his hand, his look unreadable. Mr. Gray, Paul returns the handshake. Wait up. Not the Christian Grey of Grey Enterprises Holdings. Paul goes from a sturdy stance to an awestruck stance in less than a nanosecond. Gray gives me a polite smile that doesn't reach his eyes. Anastasia has a cupboard, Mr. Clayton. She's been very attentive. His expression is impassive, but his words is like saying something else entirely. It's baffling. Cool, Paul responds. Catch you later, Anna. Sure, Paul. I watch him disappear towards the stockroom. Anything else, Mr. Gray? Just these items. His tone is clipped and cool. Damn. Have I offended him? Taking a deep breath, I turn my head for the register. What's the problem? I ring up the rope, the coveralls, the masking tape, and cable ties. That'll be $43, please. I glance up at Gray. And I wish I hadn't. He watches me closely, intently, and it's unnerving. Would you like a bag, I ask, as I take his credit card? Please, Anastasia. His tongue caressed my name, as my heart once again is frantic. I can hardly breathe. Hurried as I place his purchases in the plastic bag. You call me if you want me to do the photo shoot. He's all business once more. I nod, rendering speechless yet again, and I hand him back his credit card. Good, until tomorrow, perhaps. He turns to leave and pauses. Oh, and Anastasia, I'm glad that Mrs. K couldn't do the interview. He smiles, then strides with his renewed purpose out of the store, slinging the plastic bag over his shoulder, leaving me a quivered mass of raging female hormones. I spend several minutes staring at the closed door, which he had just left. I return to planet Earth. Okay, I like him. There, I admitted it to myself. I can't hide my feelings anymore. I never felt like this before. I find him attractive, very attractive. But it's a lost cause, I know, and I sigh with a bittersweet regret. It was just a coincidence, him coming here. But still, can I admire him from afar? Surely. No harm can come from that. And if I find a photographer, I can do some serious admiring tomorrow. I bit my lip in anticipation, and finding myself grinning like a schoolgirl. I need to phone Kate and organize the photo shoot. Alright, that's where we're going to leave it off for today. Have a good rest of your day. Peace out.